Overcome with astonishment, Valley paused for a moment to take stock of the situation. His grip around his brother's neck relaxed involuntarily. With one hand, he had held on to the arrow shaft and arrested its passage through his chest. Now he clung to it with his hands, his feet, and the coils of his tail, and broke and retarded its motion with such stubborn strength that even Yama, the god of death, stood back, nodding his head in admiration. Valley had never thought, even as a possibility, that there was any power on earth or in the heavens which could subdue him with any weapon or stand up before him in a fight. All that was an accepted fact, but here he was like a miserable worm, not even able to understand what it was that had laid him low. Could it be the Trisula of Shiva, or could it be the chakra of Vishnu or Indra's Vajrayudha? He laughed ironically. At the same moment, he felt an admiration for the unknown assailant. Who could it be? He speculated, forgetting his pain. He was invulnerable according to the promise of the gods, yet here was the reality, the arrow in his heart. He laughed bitterly at his own cocksurness of these years. What could it be? Who could it be? Why speculate? Let me find out. So saying, he exercised all his remaining strength in pulling the arrow from his chest to look at the mark on its handle. The might of Vali was applauded by the gods watching from the high heavens. As he succeeded in drawing out the shaft, blood gushed from the wound like a spring. At the sight of it, Sugriva was grief-stricken and wept aloud. He forgot his animosity. With his ebbing strength, Vali held the arrow close to his eyes and spelt the name Rama engraved on it. Vali looked at the name on the arrow and almost was blinded with shock. The shock of the physical injury was not so agonizing as the spiritual shock of reading the name of Rama on the arrow. He looked at it and brooded over his own recklessness in cascading his wife for mentioning Rama's name. That poor creature showed better judgment than he. Rama, the lord of culture, breeding, discrimination, and justice. How could you do this? You have destroyed the firm basis of your own virtues. Is it because of the separation from your wife that you have lost all sense of fairness and act recklessly? If some demon like Ravana has acted treacherously, is that any justification for you to come here, slaughter the head of a monkey clan, entirely unconnected with the affair? Had your code of ethics taught you only this? What mistake you have seen in me, young man, that you should destroy me thus? Who will wear the badge of virtue in this world or others when you have thrown it away so lightly? In this foretaste of the Yuga of Kali, to be only had by us, the creatures who crawl and are called monkeys, so kind one, are virtues intended to be practiced only on weaker creatures? When strong men commit crimes, they become heroic deeds. Oh, incomparable one, the treasure and kingdom given to you, you handed over to your younger brother. That you performed in the city. Do you wish to repeat a similar act in these forests too, by depriving an older brother of his life and kingdom? When two persons are opposed to each other, how can you, in support of one, hide and attack the other? What you have done to me is not heroic or an act conducted within laws of warfare. Surely you do not consider me a burden on this weighty earth, nor are you my enemy. Pray tell me, what drove you to this terrible decision? Ravana entrapped your wife and carried her off. To redeem her and to wreak your vengeance on him, you probably seek the support of Sugriva, which is like courting a rabbit, when you can summon a lion to serve you. Pray, what judgment is this? A word from you, and I'd have plucked Ravana from his citadel and flung him at your feet. You have done a thing which has ended my life. If someone has carried away your wife, instead of battling with him face to face, you stand aside, hide, and use all your accomplishment as an archer against an unarmed stranger. Has all your training as a warrior been only for this end? Creatures like us test our worth and strength with our sinews and muscles, and always fight barehanded, and never hold a weapon as you do. Rama softly came out of his hiding, approached the dying valley, and said with the utmost calmness, when you disappeared into the subterranean world, pursuing Mahavi, your brother waited in anxiety for a very long time, and then on a sudden resolve, started to follow your path into the tunnel since he feared that you might need help. But he was held back by the army of chiefs and advisors in your court who pressed him to rule as a trustee for the time being. But the moment you came back, you misunderstood everything, and before he could even express his relief and joy on seeing you, you belabored him mercilessly in the presence of others and attempted to take his life. When he still struggled to explain and sought your pardon for any mistake on his part, you rejected his appeal. And then, even after fully realizing that he had committed no wrong, you let your temper carry you on and on. You could afford, through your sense of power, to indulge your anger luxuriously, however unwarranted, and you assaulted and pursued him with the intention of killing him. After you fled, you left him alone, not because he admitted his error and sought your pardon and asylum, and not even because it was wrong to pursue one whose back is turned in spite. Not because he was your brother, but only because you dare not step on Montanga's hill, merely self-preservation. And you bided your time. Even now, you would have squeezed his life out for my arrow. Beyond all of this, you violated your wife's honor and made her your own. Guarding a woman's honor is the first duty laid on any intelligent being. But because you are conscious of your limitless strength, you act dishonorably and carry it off without any compunction as you feel no one can question you. You are well versed in the laws of conduct and morality, and yet instead of affording protection to a helpless woman, life partner of a brother at that, you have molested her. Since Sugriva sought my friendship and asked for help, I felt it my duty to help him by destroying you. Valley replied, "You are judging us all wrongly. Your basis is mistaken. You make too much of my acquiring my brother's wife. It's legitimate in our society. Although my brother was an enemy, I wanted to protect and help his wife when he was gone. I could not leave her to her fate. It is my primary duty to help the weak and destroy evil whenever I see it. Whether known or unknown, I help those that seek my help." Valley replied, "Marriage and all its restraints on the relationship of men and women are of your human society and not known to us. Brahma has decreed for us absolute freedom in our sexual pursuits, habits, and life. In our society, there is no such thing as wedlock. We are not a human society. We are monkeys, and your laws and ethical codes are not applicable to us." "I'm not misled by your explanation or appearance of being a monkey," Rama said. "I am aware that you are begotten by the chief of gods. You possess enough intelligence to know right from wrong and to argue your case even at this stage. You are fully aware of the eternal verities. You have erred and know it, and how can you now say you are innocent? Could Gajendra, who prayed for Vishnu's help when a crocodile held him in his jaws, be classified as an ordinary elephant? Could Jatayu be called a common bird? An ordinary animal has no discrimination between right and wrong, but you display in your speech deep knowledge of life's values. Creatures in human shape may be called animals if they display no knowledge of right and wrong, and conversely, so-called animals which display profanity cease to be animals and will be judged by the highest standards. There can be no escape from it. It was through your steadfast meditation and prayer to Shiva that you were endowed with the strength superior to even the 5 elements. One who is capable and of such achievement cannot be judged by the highest standards of conduct." "Very well," said Valley. "I'll accept what you say. But how could you, protector of all creatures, aim your shaft from your hiding place like some mean hunter tracking a wild beast, instead of facing me in a fight, if you felt that I deserved that honor?" Lakshmana gave the answer. "Rama had made a vow to support your brother Sugriva when he came seeking refuge. That this was a prior promise and had to be fulfilled, while if Rama had come before you face to face, you might have made it a similar appeal, which would have created confusion of purpose. That's the reason why he shot unseen by you." Valley saw the inner purport of this explanation and said, "Now I understand your words differently from the way they sound. They are simple to hear but have inner strength, and I feel assured that Rama has not committed an unrighteous act. Simple-minded ones like me can never realize eternal truth without constantly blundering and failing. Pray forgive my errors and my rude speech. Instead of treating me as a mere monkey by birth, As I myself was content to think, you have elevated my status and honored me. After piercing my body with your arrow, and when I am about to die, you are touching my understanding with a supreme illumination, which I consider the greatest blessing ever conferred on me. In spite of my obstinacy, you have helped me attain a profound understanding and open my mind with your magic. While other gods confer boons after being asked, you confer to them the mere utterance of your name. Great sages have attempted, after aeons of austerities, to obtain a vision of God, but you have bestowed it on me unasked. I feel proud and happy at this moment. I have only one request. I hope my brother will prove worthy of your trust in him, but at any time, if any other weakness seizes him, if you find him in the wrong, please do not send your arrow in his direction. Treat him kindly.